Productive, productive, productive. Let me start off this episode by saying I've had another really good day at work, and I didn't really take the full opportunity to congratulate myself and to really pat myself on the back, but I had a really good call in work. It was a meeting, it was a team meeting. There was maybe 6, 7, 8 people in this meeting, and I had to speak about work that I was working on, outstanding work. And once again, I had my notes to fall back on, but ultimately, I knew what I had to say and I said it. Kept it short and sweet. It was really, really good. I blended in really well. And let me take this opportunity to just process that. I spoke really well today. I articulated my thoughts really well. My pronunciation was fantastic. My confidence was amazing. I love speaking. I love talking. I love public speaking. I have great social skills. I am good at talking. I should be really proud of myself because there have been times where I have joined those meetings and I've not talked very well, but I can't become complacent. And this is what I was saying in the filler episode yesterday. I have this habit when I have a few good calls, a few good meetings, a few good instances where I can speak well, I become lazy and I fuck up. And I just say, well, I don't need this anymore. Actually, I've just clocked. I had another call with the vice president, who's kind of my manager anyways, so it isn't as scary as it sounds, but still, there have been times where I can't get a word out with him. And today, that's another good thing to say. I spoke very well. I didn't say that much, but I spoke well in front of a senior management employee, and I'm I'm really proud of that, and I need to give thanks for that as well. I'm so proud of myself. I spoke really well to my manager. I can speak really well. I am so confident. I'm good at speaking. I'm good at public speaking. I'm great at articulating. I'm great at pronunciation. I'm great at speaking my mind. I'm great. I'm fantastic. I'm confident. I'm clear with my words. That's perfect. I completely forgot about that. And I feel like that reflection, I can't even feel it because I'm so in my head and I'm not in my body. So I'm just saying it and it's almost like empty words. It feels like I'm not really connecting with what I'm saying. However, I hope, no, I know. Fuck words like hope. I know the more I do these affirmations and giving thanks to myself, the more I will be in tune with reality because I need to ground myself. I need to connect in reality. And I've already seen a positive benefit from doing these episodes, and I need to keep it up, which further reinforces my rationale, my thought process, my theory. Fuck a theory, my belief. My belief that the more I talk, the more I practice talking, the more I can engage in these episodes where I'm not only aware of why I have social anxiety, but now going forward with knowledge and then practicing speaking and public speaking techniques, I will, I know I will, and I can guarantee this. And this is not me being delusional. This is me being realistic. This is me being logical. I will defeat and cure my social anxiety once and for all. Which leads into the man who also believes he can do that, and fuck that, he has done that. Lee Lovett, very controversial figure, In the community, across Reddit and Discord, I've been aware of this man for about 10 years. I've seen his name for 10 years plus. And every time I see his name, I see people writing really negative comments because he shares the same viewpoints as me, just off the rip. This shit is curable. This shit is fixable, but it's going to take work. And I feel like, and I have watched a few videos from Lee Lovett, and I believe that's how you say his name. I might be butchering his surname, but yeah. Um, and he's also a situational stutterer. There's some people who just stutter regardless, and yeah, I do believe there are some people who just have it physically. I'm not one of those people, and neither is Lee. It's a situational social anxiety stuttering problem that is, started from birth. I've tried to read this book several times in my life. I'm looking at the PDF. I'm on the third edition of his book, which is called Stuttering and Anxieties Self Cures What 1000 Plus Stutterers Taught Me Mind Training and Neuroplasticity. I hope I said that right as well. I believe what Lee's saying in this book. I've skimmed it. I have made a few notes in the past. I've never finished this book. This book is 569 pages. I believe there is a newer edition to this book. Stuttering and Anxieties, Self Cures, Lee G. Lovett. I wonder what version he's on now. I'm sure he's on a different version. The author stuttered to age 30, then cured himself. In the last 6 years, he has over 5,000 hours of free coaching to his readers, which I will most definitely be reading. I will most definitely be viewing his YouTube channel. There's no way about it. I will 1000% be doing that. 1000%. I believe this is the latest copy. I believe so. I also have the second edition as well. So I've just got these for free off of Discord. So yeah, yeah. Um, I would love to pay for this, but to be honest, I am a strong believer that stuff like this should be free. If I'm being brutal, stuff like this really should be free, man. So yeah. But I'm aware that Lee has certain groups which you do have to pay to join. I would be interested in that. And if I do that, then I will obviously be giving money to this man. I hope this book works. I've tried it a few times, never finished it. I've spoken to a few people on the Discord server who really rave about this book and say that it's completely changed their lives. So without further ado, I'm going to read this fucking book out loud, and I have a notepad on my laptop open, and I will be making notes. I don't know how long this will take me. I think this will take a few episodes. There will be a lot which I will probably just skim through. I really want to read every word out loud because it's part of my practice and it's part of what I need to do, and that's engage in speaking more. But I feel like certain things I will gloss over because 569 pages, there's a lot of words, and it is very wordy. It's very apparent that this man is not an author. It's very apparent this man rambles and he yaps. But fuck it. Page one, the cover. Let's go. Third edition. And let me just write down the time. It's 9 minutes, 30 seconds. Let me just write this down. 9 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay. Third edition, Stuttering and Anxieties, Self-Cures. What 1000 Stutterers Taught Me. Mind Training and Neuroplasticity. If I can say one word anywhere, anytime, I can say any word, anywhere, anytime. Author's Credo. Lee G. Lovett. Okay, cool. And we've got his website link, which I will open up. Lee G. Lovett, aka the Stutterer Whisperer. In my notes, I'm pasting in that link, and I will definitely be looking through his website here and there. Okay, that's just a page about nothing. This book is dedicated to you. Most of us go through life knowing only half of ourselves, so we use only half of our abilities. If we suffer because we are strangers to we suffer because we are strangers to ourselves. We have free choice to accept or reject thoughts. Nothing compels us to think anything except our own desires. Use your mental switch to dictate your thoughts because that you can improve and you will. Okay, that's a quote from some random lad. The next page is completely blank. Table of contents. Right, let's have a look at this. Section dedication, page 3. Part 1, preamble. Is that just him fucking shooting the shit and just rambling? Preamble is an introductory statement that explains the purpose, philosophy, and intent of a document, such as a constitution or statutes. I don't know what that word is. I've just googled what preamble means. I think this is what I really get stuck on because I'm gonna claim 42 pages of ramble, but it'll be worth speaking out loud anyway. Part 2, the war against stuttering. This is more ramble up until page 94. I believe this is just Lee's life story and his belief, his understanding, and his views on neuroplasticity. Very controversial, but I wholeheartedly share the same beliefs. So, he ain't telling me anything new. And then that goes on to step 1, 95 pages in. Hearing fluency. Step 2, my speech crutches, page 114. And I have read through the crutches before, and I do believe if you're a stutterer and if you stuttered for a while, you've pretty much used a lot of them anyways, but it is good to just run through them anyways. So that's step 2, starts from page 114 and it goes on to 253. That's a lot. Step 3, the vocabulary assets, page 256. Step 4, get lost in your ideas and emotions. Build a fear free memory bank, page 269. Step 5, auto suggestion, page 292. Step 6, mental imagery, AS and SH, page 346. And that reminds me, Lee Lovett uses a lot of abbreviations throughout this whole book. So in this note page or this notepad that I have opened next to this book, I will most definitely be writing these abbreviations because they're hard to remember. Next, part 3. What's this? Speech is a River, page 370. What 1,000 Stutterers Taught Me, page 384. And then 12, the 12-step plan to stop stuttering, page 416. I feel like this is pretty much where the book kind of starts, respectfully, but I'll go for it anyway. 13, the 7 cardinal sins of PWS. I believe that is person with stutter. That's page 443. Chapter 14, mild speech anxiety, page 459. Healing the whole person neurologically, page 464. What's this? Part 5, the war against fear, chapter 16, the post-cure program, beating fear, 400, that's page 481. Final thoughts on 493. which then goes on to no, sorry, that was part 4. This is part 5. Sorry, it's in Roman numerals and it's hard to keep up. Chapter 18, the Speech Anxiety Anonymous. I believe that is his group, which, to be honest, I would be tempted to join it, to be fair. Chapter 16, Video Library of Coaching Sessions, which I believe he's actually taken down from YouTube now. I believe a lot of his video library coaching sessions are on his group. So I'm pretty sure he's taken a lot of them down, which kind of fucking sucks. And it makes me look at him like, what? Like, you should be doing this for the love, not for the money, but I get it, bro. And then chapter 20, Internet Links of Interest, page 540. And I love that he's put his own biography in there. Beautiful. Fuck me. Right, this is going to be a long one. Well, that's just the table of contents. I scroll down to the next page and it's just a load of blank. So, that was a load of shit. So, let me write down this new timestamp. 16 minutes and 5 seconds. So, let's do this. 16 minutes and 5 seconds. Yippee-ki-yay. Part 1. Preamble. Here we go. Scroll down to the next page. That's a blank page. Okay. Four words. Forwards. What's this word mean? Forward. A short introduction to a book, typically by a person other than the author. Okay. By Paul Brockhurst, PhD, experimental psychologist and speech researcher. A few months ago, one of my clients mentioned to me that Lee Lovett had written a book that seemed to be advocating an approach to speech self-therapy that was very similar to my own. So I bought Lee's book, Stuttering and Anxiety, Self-Cures, Second Edition, and was delighted to find that Lee had indeed described in beautifully clear and simple language essentially the same combination of psychological approach and practical crutches that have enabled me to attain the level of fluency and confidence that I now have. It seems that the two of us have undergone parallel journeys and quite independently arrived at the same destination. In his book, Lee highlights the need for 3 things. First, we need to have firm belief, or at a minimum, a very open mind to the view that we can overcome stuttering. Second, we need to hear massive amounts of fluency from our lips. And third, we need to learn a variety of crutches, simple, pragmatic methods that we can rely on to enable us to get our message across quickly and efficiently without stuttering, and in a way that does not sound abnormal or bizarre. What I'm going to do there is I'm going to just take some notes down. This bloke's name is Paul Brockhurst, PhD. I want to take a note down that the first belief is to have a very open mind that you can overcome. I believe that's important to have in my notes. Second, massive amount of fluency from our lips. And then third, we need to have a variety of crutches. Crutches are in quotation marks, by the way. Okay, next page. For many of us, however, due to many painful past experiences, the belief in our underlying ability to speak without stuttering has become buried deep in our unsubconscious mind. To reignite this belief that we can stop stuttering, Lee guides the reader through 2 methods: autosuggestions and self-hypnosis. Let me copy that. Auto suggestions and self hypnosis. Once reignited, this expectancy of success provides the necessary motivation to enable us to stop ourselves from creating new stutter memories and to thoroughly learn the crutches. And the crutches, once thoroughly learnt, enable us to overcome our fear of stuttering. In this expanded third edition of his book, Lee now introduces 12 in brackets 13 crutches, and he stresses the vital importance of not becoming, what is this word? Habituated? I don't even know how to say this word. Habituate. So, yes, habituated. Make or to become accustomed or used to something. Right. Okay. Vital importance of not becoming habituated to always using the same one. Cool. In summary, Lee Lovett has developed a comprehensive, easy to follow approach to stuttering self therapy, which may bring lasting relief from stuttering and demolish its underlying iceberg of fears and anxieties. This approach worked for me despite many at, yeah, despite many attempts at therapy. I remained a severe stutterer until age of 40. It was only after I adopted the approach and most of the crutches that Lee now teaches that my stutter went into remission. Now, 20 years later, it has not relapsed, and my fear of stuttering has completely vanished. Lee's SAA's coaching is completely free and available to anyone anywhere. I believe that is inaccurate now, but we will find out. I applaud his contribution and have decided to join his winning team at Speech Anxiety Anonymous as a member of its advisory board and as an SAA coach. And I was also pleased to be the 15th PWSS person who stopped stuttering. Also, I need to write some of these abbreviations down. Right, I'm gonna put right at the top of this fucking thing. Right at the top, bro. Right. So SAA stands for Speech Anxiety Anonymous. PWSS stands for Person Who Stops Stuttering. Oh, there's a fucking fly in my room. And then what is this? Yeah, okay. So he was the 15th person who stopped stuttering to post my success story in the SAA's Speech Hall of Fame. An SAA is Speech Anxiety Anonymous, right? Okay, cool. Oh, so many abbreviations, bro. Okay. It is my hope that in time, the broader stuttering community will come to recognize that Lee's SAA's approach offers a genuine and valuable alternative to the currently mainstream approaches, and that for many adults who stutter, SAA's approach can bring success where the mainstream approaches have failed. In all events, I hope that you and many others will embrace Lee's book as I have. I fully am with Paul Brockhurst, PhD. I'm fully with him with that. And that was a lovely preamble. Right, next page. Email message from a medical student. I remember this first bit of this book, bro. The first bit of this book turned me off, but alright, cool. Let's lock in. Okay. Email message from a medical student. Also, the English writing is pretty bad because shouldn't that be Anne, not A? From a. Oh, no. A is right. Okay, cool. For privacy reasons, the email below omits the sender's name, but it is an exact quote from a PWS medical student whose first language is not English. Alright, cool. Your book is a medical breakthrough. And also, bruh, I do feel like the first part of this book is just Lee tooting his own horn, but like other people tooting his horn for him. But all right, cool. Your book is a medical breakthrough, and I fear that such great book wouldn't be wouldn't be noticed. Oh my god, the English is so bad. Because 99% of people fear change. Oh lord. And fear the unknown and don't want to try new things. Such a loss. Losing such a life changing opportunity. I think you should propose your methods to a neuroscience or psychologic or psychologically. How the fuck do you say this fucking word, bro? Psych is this psychology? Yes, it is. Oh, bro, I'm fucking retarded. Right. Or a psychology department in any university. It will help many, many other people. Mental disorders like stuttering or depression and even schizophrenia can't be cured by pills or surgery. Agreed. As you wrote in your book, the mind created such oh my god, these words, bro. You can tell that I don't read that much because I'm struggling in saying these basic words, and not in a stuttering sense, just in a general sense. Anomaly, anomaly. The mind created such anomalies, and these anomalies can be really cured only by attacking their root cause, the mind. Your book is so underrated. You are a pioneer in stuttering field. You are a fighter with genius. People who Skype with you don't realize who they are talking to. A genius. I can't stop thinking about our Skypes. They lift my spirits. I cannot thank you enough. You are changing lives. That's a wonderful email, aka Lee's just took his own horn. Right, okay, 1000 plus stutterers taught me, question mark. 1000 plus PWS. What does PWS stand for, bro? See, this shit pissed me off, bro. Like, you're not using the acronyms, then like, what does PWS stand for? I'm assuming it's person who stutters, right? Okay, 1000 PWS. Really? Yes. That's my candid and what? And I believe understated guess. Since I released my first and second editions of this book, I have Skype coached 2,500 sessions with people who stutter. PWS. Oh, sorry, with people who stutter. Right, okay. Let me write that one down. Right, so he's finally told us what that stands for. PWS stands for people who stutter. A few hundred in 2016, 1,000 plus in 2017, and roughly 1,500 in 2018, and made nearly 5,000 people who stutter friends and followers on Facebook. I tried to add him on Facebook once, he didn't say shit, and he didn't respond, but alright. I receive hundreds of communications weekly from people who stutter. I deal with all conceivable levels of speech anxiety, spanning 5 continents and every identifiable culture, race, creed, gender, philosophy, and social and economic strata. So, yes, I'll give, I'll guess that via face to face Skype, email, texts, phone, FaceTime, Facebook, Twitter, etc., 1,000 people who stutter have contributed to this third edition, and I'll wager that few, if any, have spent more hours one on one with people who stutter. I'll wager that few, if any, have spent. Okay. I can get a free cup of coffee or tea most anywhere. Smiley face. All right, mate. Coaching is learning too, especially from such diverse sources. And when I do, and learn I do, this new information and a relentless effort to explain things more clearly obsess me to release this third edition. I keep trying to present a book that, if mastered, can give fluency without personal coaching. I simply want speech sufferers to find freedom from what I and my mates have proved is a merciless but conquerable oppressor, Satan stuttering. Author's confession and celebration. I am not a healer nor a speech professional. I explain to people how I stopped stuttering and fearing it over 4 decades ago. Satan threats of stuttering still come and go, however infrequently, and I crush them easily, and I enjoy doing it with my crutches. So no one has caught me stuttering in 40 plus years. I have trained my mind to truly love to speak. How did I accomplish this? The answers are in this book. Other readers of this book who share their stories with me are beating it too. If we can beat it, so can you. We do not control our speech or try to force words. We don't manipulate our breathing or tongues or do anything unnatural. We teach ourselves to manage and dictate our thoughts. We reshape our neuroplastic minds using methods that stop stuttering and enable natural speech. We need no pills to achieve this. To all the world, we are viewed as fluent, and we do not perceive ourselves as stutterers. In our minds and in the eyes of others, we are cured. We have turned the what is that word? The pernicious Google help. Pernicious? Pernicious. Pernicious? Pernicious. Having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual oh especially in a gradual or subtle way. Pernicious? Pernicious. We have turned the pernicious speech carnivore upon its despicable self. At last, the days of stuttering are numbered. It is time for a bold new beginning. Okay, I want a copy. We teach ourselves to manage and dictate our thoughts. We reshape our neuroplastic minds using methods that stop stuttering and enable natural speech. That's cool to me. Why this third edition? When I wrote the 200-page first edition in 2015, I told my very personal, tortured story of stuttering. 6 months after publishing that edition, in nearly 2016, a seamlessly endless stream of people who stutter began to contact me. I learned so much from them that I published the 300-page second edition in spring 2017. By early 2019, after amassing 5,000 people who stutter, friends and followers on Facebook, and communicating with 1,000 plus by doing about 2,500 Skype coaching sessions and forming Speech Anxiety Anonymous, SAA, to help as many people who stutter as we could. I had learned so much from the stories of other people who stutter that I had to write this 550-page third edition. It includes major revisions to all sections, plus all new or completely rewritten sections on crutches, autosuggestions, mental imagery, what People Who Stutter taught me, Post Cure Program, and Video Library. This third edition is intended to enable as many people who stutter as possible to stop stuttering with little or no verbal coaching. I and other SAA, what does that stand for? Speech Anxiety Anonymous coaches will coach as many as we can, and our video library of coaching sessions, now almost 700, but adding 100 plus monthly, is helping so many. Is helping many. Over 25,000 views so far. The goal remains the same: remove stuttering from this planet. My sweat and blood is on every page of this tome. Sorry, bruh. All I want is to help you. This is kind of cringe, but alright. Silent Words by Alan Pritchard. Behind the smiles, behind the tears, are silent words that no one hears. Conversations well thought out, but censored through my pain and doubt. So much of who is really me that most will never chance to see. From thoughts to words, there's compromise, and speech becomes an enterprise. Stuttering is not my choice. I really have a lovely voice, but words too often bond with dread, and then so much is left unsaid. I know quite well what I would say, though it may not always sound that way. If you judge me by my speech alone, the loss you face will be your own. There is more to me than meets the ear. There's someone special living here. As posted on Stuttering Community during National Stuttering Week 2016. Bars, bro. Bars. Okay. Stop stuttering and / or self-cure. What is this word? Sociocrats? Am I saying that right? Sociocrats? How do you pronounce? What is a sociocrat? Sociocrat was an ancient Greek. It's a person's name. Okay. Sociocrats widely taught us that all serious discourse should begin with a definition of the terms under discussion. What? Sociocrats widely taught us that all serious discourse. What? I'm retarded, bro. Serious discourse. What is a serious discourse? Refers to a formal and intense discussion or communication about a particular, often weighty subject. Okay. All serious discourse should begin with a definition of the terms under discussion. In earlier editions, the key term was self-cure, and it remains in the title of this book, as it would create havoc with Amazon worldwide to change the title. After I had published the first edition, to my utter surprise, I learnt that many in the stuttering community abhorred? Why does this guy not speak normally? Ab, abhorred, okay, regard with disgust and hatred. Oh, cool, blimey. The stuttering community abhorred the word cure and rejected it as flatly impossible, and even as insulting to their intelligence, and as contrary to their persuasive acceptance of their stuttering. But as I had stopped my own stuttering, I could not accept that dogma. What the dog doing? Dogma. What exactly does dogma mean? Dogma means the doctrine of belief in a religion or a political system. I cannot accept that dogma. Error repeated, however often, remains error. Justice Brandes. In further support of curability, many of those who have stopped stuttering via my methods are equally militant in their insistence that they are cured. Regardless, the word cure is such a hot button that I mitigate its use in this third edition and often use the term an undeniable fact that we have stopped stuttering in lieu of cure. But I haven't purged every use of the word cure, nor should I, in defense to those who insist that they are cured by their own definition. In all events, call it what you will, when we say stop stuttering or cured, we mean this. Strangers no longer identify the person who stutters as a stutterer, and the person who has stopped stuttering, shall I write that one down? Yeah, the person who stopped stuttering, yeah, is able to say, I can avoid stuttering, block, or silence that would appear to be a disability. Fears of stuttering will die too, but they take longer to extinguish than does the stuttering itself, and they need to be addressed and are in section 16. Threats may always come and go, but they become so easy and even fun to repel. Throughout this book, we refer to those who meet the above. Throughout this book, we refer to those who meet the above two tests as person who stopped stuttering and or success story. While many of these decline to publish their stories, even under a pseudonym, by early 2019, when this edition should be published, there should be 50 plus success stories posted on Speech Anxiety Anonymous's website. You copy their link. Paste in the notes. Cool. Probably another 50 have cured as well, but we didn't ask them to post an SS, which sounds a success story. It's a bit weird. Success story. Success story. In the early days, or they declined for privacy reasons. So call it as you will, where else on this planet can you find demonstrable evidence of stutterers of all severities, ages, cultures, etc., who have stopped stuttering and who assert and daily prove that they can avoid any stutter or block anytime, anywhere? Some of these cures are now 2 years old. Again, fears take longer to die, but they do die. Relapses occur sometimes, but are resolved. See sections blank and blank for that. In sum, this book is not about somatics. Somatics, what does that mean? This book is not about somatics. The branch of linguistics and logical concern with meaning. The two main areas are logic, semantics. What the hell? Semantics. Okay, it examines what meaning is, how words get their meaning, and how the meaning of a complex expression depends on its part. So just the meaning of shit. Okay, this book is not about semantics. It is about stopping stuttering permanently. As no one has caught me stuttering in over 40 years, and no one can catch me stuttering now, I'm Exhibit 1 that the methods in this book work, and the other people who stop stuttering, success stories on Speech Anxiety Anonymous, add several new exhibits monthly as proof, some of which are already 2 years old and going strong. We rarely relapse, and I never have. Relapses are caused by not knowing the crutches well enough or forgetting them. As I now type and edit this edition in early 2019, we had been advised of several relapses who jumped back on the fluency bandwagon after one or two Skypes. Anyone who keeps the crutches fresh by using them now and then when not needed should not relapse, as an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We have a program to address this in section 16, post cure program. I feel like people view Lee Lovett as a bit of a what's that dude who cured cancer, but no one accepts that he cured cancer. I can't remember his name. Doctor Sevi, I believe his name is, or Sebi. Who I actually believe him too. To be honest, I believe his practices are logical, and I believe that Lee's practices are logical here. Okay, what readers wrote about Lee. In light of the general and mistaken view that stuttering cannot be stopped / cured, I am constrained to share some unsolidated comments of my people who stutter mates, which clearly suggest that cures are not only possible but should be accomplished in a very high percentage of cases. Frankly, I fully expect to watch people who stuttering stop their stuttering in every single case. If the person who stutters will work at it and stay with our program, the average case takes several months. The fastest has been 1 month, except for those believed to stop stuttering by reading the book alone, and the longest so far approximates a year. It took me 5 years to get to 90% and another 10 to get to 97% and my lifetime to get to 99. But no one has heard me stutter in over 40 years. The last 1% is attributable to threats. Indeed, in my career, I became a frequent public speaker, giving some 48 speeches in 1 year, appearing on TV a half dozen times, and on dozens of radio talk shows all decades ago, and having nothing to do with speech anxiety. I have also coached public speaking informally to quite a few, including some politicians. I am living proof that a person who stutters can can learn to speak fluently and love to speak. Now, in my third year of communicating with thousands of people who stutter followers, I have learned as much or more than I have taught, for which I here give bountiful thanks, and it is this new knowledge that gives rise to the third edition of this book, chock full of wisdom from battle-scarred people who stutter in the trenches of stuttering. With so many people who stutter friends scattered across 5 of the world's continents, I have received written comments from myriad sources, book reviews, emails, Skype chats, text messages, messenger notes, and calls, FaceTime calls, comments on Facebook, Twitter, and on, as this is not a commercial enterprise for me. I do not attempt to keep track of same, but as is no question about me, I do not attempt to keep track of same, but since so many people who stutters are such doubtful Thomases, aka stuttering is incurable, I can't stop stuttering, I don't need to be fixed, etc. It seems appropriate to include a sample of unsolicited written comments by people who stutter, who comments within brackets, are my words, in no particular order. Sample people who started comments follow. Consider this excerpt, experts, excerpts. How do you say that word? Experts, excerpts. I had said it right the first time. Consider this excerpt from a book review posted by an Aussie in September 2018. If you stutter, then just reading and following this one book is all you need to do to stop the habit. Lee is a lovely person who is sharing his learnings with everyone and wants to help everyone. Don't go anywhere else. He and his team wants to help you. Just come and experience the love and care and be cured. Here's what a beautiful California girl wrote to me in December 2018. Thank you so much for everything that you do for me and the other people who started. Your book, the Skype sessions, email advice, and just your pure passion in helping us win the battle against evil stuttering is making such a difference in our lives. You are an amazing and inspiring person. Your enthusiasm, optimism, and love for life is infectious. I am grateful that our paths crossed, and I will continue to put into action everything that you taught me. On September the 9th, 2019, 14 months after he posted his success story on Speech Anxiety Anonymous, Nick from Canada wrote this. Haley, just want to thank you once again for the impact your methods have had on my life. I won a contest at a local radio station here in PEI, Canada. As winner, I had the opportunity to do an interview. I didn't have to, but I dismissed that old fear of stuttering and said, why not? Let's do it. Although my speech has been great for a while now, I don't even think about the concept of stuttering every day anymore. There was a tiny fear that I might not be able to get my name out while introducing myself to the radio station's audience. I decided to use a word linkage and said, hello, my name is Nick Foran, at a natural pace but with zero hesitation between words. It worked great, and the rest of the interview was a breeze. Thanks again for your life-changing philosophies regarding speech and fear. I am forever indebted, Nick. So that's interesting. I decided to use word linkage and said, hello, my name is Nick Foreman. Natural, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Here's an excerpt from an October 2018 email to Lee from a Canadian who works in artificial intelligence research at a university who stuttered and grimaced badly. Grimaced? Is that suffered? Grimaced? Grimace? Grimace is past tense. Sorry. No, sorry. Make a grimace. I sipped the coffee and grimaced. Oh, it's past tense. Yeah, yeah. Stuttered and grimaced badly. I was reflecting as to how much my life has changed since last year. I never knew a book could change one life so much, and it all started with a book, your book. I feel so eternally thankful for your help and support for the past year. It has given me hope and enthusiasm for everything and helped me overcome stuttering when no other therapist could. You are a lifesaver. As you may know, a handful of person who stopped stuttering mates formed a charity where person who stopped stuttering help people who stutter beat stuttering. Again, it's called Speech Anxiety Anonymous. Google it. Here's what a person who stuttered from Bos Bosnina, who has his own group of 4,000 or 400 people who stutter, emailed me in August 2018. You're totally right about success and huge importance of the Speech Anxiety Anonymous project. It is surely life-changing and the most serious and successful project for people who stutter in history. In August 2018, a Pakistani medical student wrote this to me. My life is much better now, including my whole family's. Stutter was not something I only faced. The anxiety was shared by everyone who loved me and couldn't see me suffering. My home always had demon stuttering looming, and everyone was always stressed out all the time because of me. Now, things have changed. My family is much more happy. This is what Speech Anxiety Anonymous and you have done for me, and I will always be in your debt. In August 2018, another medical student wrote this. Your book is a medical breakthrough. So underrated. It should have more attention, even from the medical world. You are a pioneer in stuttering field, but like any other great work, it would not be accepted or even noticed only years or maybe decades later. You are a fighter with a genius and wise mind. People who Skype with you don't realize who they are talking to, a genius. Another Aussie wrote this in his July 2018 email. I have experienced a massive improvement. I I can't even believe it that I've never seen before in my life. I have never seen a difference every day. So, I have seen a difference every day. I am so excited. I just want to share the story. It has changed the chemistry in my mind. I feel so different. A Texas college student wrote this in his September 2018 email. I miss you, Lee. You have changed my life. Stuttering occurrences don't happen much anymore, and I'm self cured thanks to you. I thank God he placed you in my life. A person who stuttered recently told me to download Messenger. I had never heard of Messenger, but I did it. I found 100, 200, now 1,000. I have no idea how many messages from friends, far too many to read or even scroll through. Many were complimentary and very few negative. This one was near the top. Copied from Messenger, February 2017. The book on stuttering was really helpful. You have opened a new chapter in my life, and you have, what is that word? Usurped? That must be a typo, surely. Usurped. No, that's a real word. Usurp. Past tense is usurped. Take. A position of power or importance, unlawfully or by force. Richard usurped the throne. Take a position of power unlawfully or by force. You have usurped with positivity. I'm going to start my life with this new perspective, and you are my God. Thanks a lot, Mr. Lovett. You were so kind in sharing your precious techniques with me. I admire and respect that. I would be ever grateful to you. From Prath Usha, India. And then some posts from Facebook. From Johnson Sun, February the 13th, 2017. Background Zenyha Johnson, son, 32, born and raised in China, a severe stutter, every word on bad days, since age 3. Came to the US 2 years ago to attend grad school. Suffered total blockage so severe that he sought help at the nearest hospital. After 150 therapy sessions in the US, he was little better. He read my book, listened to my audiobook, and Skyped with me weekly for several months. He is no longer a detectable stutterer. He moved back to his native Shanghai, where he plans to open a Chinese chapter of Speech Anxiety Anonymous. And he is now helping me coach other Chinese people who stutter on Skype. As an incredible bonus, he translated my second edition into Chinese, no charge. Sun's explanation of his self-cure is on my Facebook page. Excerpts below. Lee knows every detail of stutter. After reading his book, I felt I was equipped with super weapons to fight with my stuttering. My stuttering is 95% cured in Chinese and 90% in English. I owe my cure to Lee's book and Lee's coaching on Skype. Lee's methods work, and he gives his time freely and unselfishly. It has been almost 2 years since Johnson wrote those words, and no relapse has been reported, and he still communicates with the author. Josh Zello, 23, a resident of Texas, teaches the Christian Bible to several thousand children. He is training to be a minister. He once was a severe stutterer, every word on bad days, since age 3. By his definition and mine, he is no longer a detectable stutterer, and he considers his job to be a professional speaker, as his job requires him to make speeches on closed-circuit TV constantly. Since what he wrote on my Facebook page is fairly short, I'll just paste it below. On October the 20th, 2016, thank you, Lee, for all that you've done for me and so many others who struggle with stuttering. For those of you who have faced this struggle, Lee Lovett is the real deal. I listened to his audiobook, read the book on Kindle, and Lee has repeatedly Skyped with me, coaching me at no charge. His methods work, and he is genuine and good man. Get in touch with him today. It has over 2 years since Josh wrote the foregoing comment, and he has not relapsed. He too remains in contact with the author. Al-Telf Hassan, a resident of Pakistan, posted on Facebook. Al-Telf Hassan from Pakistan, Lee Lovett deserves that praise. God bless him. He's a light at the end of a long dark tunnel for the person who stutters. A Facebook post from Australian Shirian on Lee Lovett's wall. Happy birthday to the man who has already set into motion my brand new life. I hope you have a fantastic day. On Facebook, February the 13th, 2017, Adam Worth. May all our stutterable armors be cracked by this blessed man. Adam is beating a host of issues, including stuttering. He could not speak one word to Lee when he first Skyped in mid-2016, but after quitting and restarting several Skypes several times, by mid-2018, Adam's stutters were 75% gone. He continues to work on his stuttering and related issues. Then some emails. Ruth Med has emailed Lee, I am honored to be asked to join Speech Anxiety Anonymous's advisory board. Thank you very much for welcoming me on board. I can't believe the speed at which this stuttering stopped was accomplished. Terrific. You are doing a tremendous job. Lee, I love the term people who stopped stuttering. Great term. Your material is so excellent. Email to Lee from New Delhi, March the 17th, 2017. For the first time in my life, I was able to read an article to my father without stuttering. It brought tears to his eyes. Email to Lee from New York, February the 17th, 2017. You are undoubtedly doing a great service to all people who stutter. All the love is coming back to you, Lee. Email from Texas, um, February the 18th, 2017. Keep being awesome. You are making a huge difference in people's lives. I know it. See you, man. Email from New York, September the 10th, 2018. You are John the Baptist of neuroplasticity. Email from Delhi. Email from Delhi, February the 4th, 2017. Let me repeat that one more time. Email from Delhi, February the 4th, 2017. Yes, your method is working for me. I started only 7 times in the last 8 days. Email from Beijing, 5th of November 2016. You are the living model for me. I have read through your book. Excellent book. I am looking for talking. I am looking for talking with you on Skype. Okay. I am currently in Beijing, China. Thanks. Email January the 20th, 2016. I appreciate you so much and all that you've taught me. I have a whole life of free speech ahead of me, thanks to your communication and life skills that you've taught me. Email February the 4th, 2017. I really appreciate what you're doing for the stuttering community. It's amazing. Email February the 6th, 2017 from MN. I'm so grateful you are helping so many send Satan stuttering back to hell where he so richly deserves to be. Email December the 24th, 2016. I haven't had any bad days. I'm having fun speaking. Email December the 23rd, 2016. The time that you've spent with me is making a real difference. You're more than welcome to share my story. I'm happy to help you help as many as I can. Email October the 11th, 2016. Thanks for the inspiring email to my son. Email February the 12th, 2017. You are the topic of every therapy session for months now. Know that we are grateful for all that you do. Fucking hell. Right. Book reviews. Although many kindly write me appreciative emails, very few ever write book reviews, sadly. Anyway, a few do, and some excerpts follows. Lee's methods work. From Daniel, September the 10th, 2018. Amazing book from WH, August the 18th, 2018. I highly recommend this book to anyone who stutters. From Kelly, August the 12th, 2018. Great book for speech improvement. From Ryan C., August the 11th, 2018. Practical and concrete book to overcome stuttering. George, August 2018. A Stutterer's Roadmap to Fluency. Rice, August 2018. Lee, your book should be in the what is this word? Pantheon. Pantheon can refer to a collection of gods in a particular region or to a temple dedicated to them. All right. Lee, your book should be in the Pantheon. I don't even know if I said that right. Of the most helpful alternative stuttering self-help tomes. This book stays away from technical jargon and goes right into easy to use ways to become fluent. You sure about that, mate? 'Cause I've been reading this shit for a while now. Anyway, the author even will help you on your journey to fluency for free. Richard N.M. All right. February the 9th, 2017. I have stuttered my whole life. I considered myself handicapped, with no chance of ever speaking normal, until I read this book. At age 41, I'm overjoyed. Mr. Lovett really knows his stuff. We call him Dr. Lee at home. I can't recommend his book highly enough. Jason KY, October the 12th, 2016. Since then, in a recent email, he added, I don't think about stuttering much anymore, and strangers don't think I stutter. Jason self-cured on in the 12th of 2016. I guess that's December 2016. Over 2 years later, Jason did a video on Social Anxiety Anonymous, proving no relapse. I have always stuttered under pressure. I finished the book today, and it was fantastic, simple, and effective. I also Skyped with him, and that helped too. He passionately wants to help stutterers. That was from Manuel, Florida. August. So the NMs and the FLs, their states, right? Okay. Manual, Florida, right? Okay. August the 20th, 2016. I stutter. The techniques in this book are definitely helping. This book may launch an era of new thinking about stuttering. Revish, August the 5th, 2016. This book offers the most impactful methods to managing stuttering of any book I have read. Being the boss of your mind, autosuggestion, and visualization will change how you speak. It changed mine. Thank you, Lee. Brian N. June, 3rd, 2016. Okay. Negative comments. Some deride me as a quack, a charlatan, and despicable liar. Was it charlatan? Or charlatan? I'm sure it's charlatan. A charlatan is a person who pretends to have more knowledge or skill than they actually possess to deceive others for personal gain. Jeez. And despicable liar. Alright, cool. My book and efforts offend them, and my use of the word cure, protesting that I do not have formal training in speech therapy, psychology, or medicine. One has even reported me to the National Stuttering Foundation or such some group. I regret that I I regret that I have offended anyone, as that is the last thing I wish to do. As goes the cliche, no good deed goes unpunished. I accept the what is that word? I accept the chastiments. What was that fucking word? Chastiments is a severe criticism or punishment. How do you say it? It's pronunciation. Yeah, chastisements. Okay. I accept the chastisements, but I must continue to try to help my people who stutter mates. What Lee says about his people who stutter mates. They are my friends, and I am theirs. I fully expect every single one of them to stop stuttering. I will not quit helping them or rest until each of them does the following: achieve fluency, becomes the best speaker in her/his group, and is able to say as I can avoid any stutter anywhere, anytime. Can say, I love to speak. And finally, can say, stuttering was a great blessing in my life. I simply want fluent and happier people who stutter. That is my reward, and believe me, I am being rewarded every single month. So, sorry, achieves fluency, becomes the best speaker in the group, able to say, I can avoid any stutter anywhere, anytime, can say I love to speak, and can say stuttering was a great blessing. Okay, that's interesting. Author's preface. Bossing your mind. Neuroplasticity is the answer. How long have I been on this call? Okay, cool. On this episode. Okay, cool. Hour 15. The bedrock of this book is neuroplasticity. Uh, what's this word? Sursa? 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 Sursa is a preposition that means about or approximately. Oh, like Sierra? The singer? Circa. Fucking hell, I'm an absolute idiot. Circa 2000, the medical community began to embrace neuroplasticity seriously. And let me write that down as well. So he's saying NP stands for neuroplasticity. Okay. By 2007, it gained huge momentum. In a nutshell, neuroplasticity says that the human mind is like plastic. It can change itself and can be changed. Okay, neuroplasticity says that the human mind is like plastic. It can change itself and it can be changed. Okay? Many inorganic or even organic diseases are being cured by neuroplasticity. Stuttering is inorganic, and as case histories prove, is curable. As the word cure is defined throughout this book, your mind has allowed and or caused the anxieties that give rise to social and speech anxiety, and your mind can be changed and reprogrammed to eliminate those anxieties and their relative problems like stuttering. This book provides methods that have a 90% success rate for those who apply them assiduously. I want to write that down really quickly. So, I just want to write down really quick neuroplasticity for social and speech anxiety. Which is so interesting because I forgot that he calls it speech anxiety, but that's actually what I've been thinking about calling it really. So I don't know if I got that from this book or if, again, just great minds just think alike. But yeah, bitch, my mind, great. Anyway, I have so much that I want to say to you and share with you that I have no idea where to begin. So let me do it from the heart. I view every reader of this book as my brother, sister, son, daughter, grandson, or granddaughter. This is why I released a first edition of this book in 2016 and a second in 2017 and now this third edition in 2019, and have given away so many of my books and have done roughly 2,500 Skypes with sufferers so far and acquired 5,000 anxiety followers and founded and funded a charity, Speech Anxiety Anonymous, to help people who stutter, and have put 700 plus videos on YouTube with over 25,000 views to date. The satanic hell of speech anxiety in all of its egregious and execrable forms can not only be conquered, it can and has been turned into blessings by me and by a fast growing army of your kindred spirits. Armed with such joyous news, let us begin your journey to speech wellness. Just want to put a note in that it's just something that's popped into my mind. It's unrelated to this book, but it's related to stuttering. About a news anchor on Good Morning Britain who suffers. I'm gonna put that because I'm trying to make a little list of celebrities who I know suffer or suffered, and see if they speak about it and what help they can do. But yeah, or what help they may have spoke about in the past. Um, mm, Okie dokie. Where did I finish? Concrete in terms of blessed by me and fast growing looking spirits, armed with such joyous news, let us begin your journey to anxiety wellness. Therapy can help stuttering and depression and many things, and your life in general, to be sure. I have profited from therapy, a psychiatrist, and I hope that my readers will avail themselves of therapy, as it will surely help their speech and their lives. What does avail mean? I thought avail means like go. Avail, oh, help or benefit. Am I saying it right? Avail, yeah. Use or oh yeah, so it does mean okay. Use or take advantage of. Right, okay. I hope that my readers will avail themselves of therapy, as it will surely help their speech and their lives, but 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 it is my firm belief that in the end, the only and real and lasting defeat of stuttering requires that the person who stutters become the boss of his or her mind. Fully agree with that. Just as the neurologist, neuroplasticity, propontents, what? In this minute, what? Wait a minute. What does propontents mean? Proponent, a person who advocates a theory, proposal, or course of action. Just as the neurologist, neuroplasticity proponents in medicine began to publish, urge, how do I say this word again? Is it circa? I think it's circa. Yeah, circa. Circa 2005. In the end, it is my view that stuttering must be self cured. The good news is that stuttering can be stopped. Fears will die in due course thereafter, and we can teach ourselves to love to speak. No pills, machines, peculiar breathing, vibrations, abnormal speech patterns, tricks with your tongue, etc., are needed, and many of same hmm, are needed, and many of same have most undesirable side effects. Some produce strained, affected, robotic speech. We, people who stutter, want natural, fluent speech, and we can have it. Stop looking for gimmicky fixes, none exist. Stuttering resides in the mind, and the mind, your mind, must be the engine of the cure. The mind must be assaulted by you, remapped, retrained, and managed daily for life. And only the individual person who stutters can do it. Learning this mind management method will fix a great deal more than speech. It will enable you to give yourself a much better life. I actually quite like that, and I'll definitely paste that. I'll definitely give that a bit of a paste in my notes, because I fully agree with that. Because even therapists say it's not what you do in the therapy sessions; it's what you do outside of it. So I fully agree with that. Many of us work so hard on what is this word? Air. Oh yeah. Many of us work so hard on aerobics, weights, diet, our appearance, reading self-help books, etc. Many of us spend hours a day in such pursuits, but we ignore, totally ignore our minds. leaving our minds to be controlled by our environment, family, friends, teachers, the media, events, etc. So, no surprise, we too often lead lives in as much disarray as is our often chaotic and violent environment. The result? All manner of physical ailments, and even speech issues for some of us. All of our ailments are related. All life is connected. Life is a seamless whole. All life is one. As wrote the renowned Harvard pathologist Stephen Jay Gould. So we must face it to heal our speech. We must heal ourselves in a broader sense, and normal speech will follow. This is not a 30-minute a day job. This is a 24/7 lifelong job. It is the job of becoming the person we are proud to be. Helping stutterers by Skyping, no charge, is my charity, and I literally love doing it. I am making new friends daily, and so are they. I can be reached via email. That's the email. Please also see 5-minute video as displayed in the National Stuttering Association. Or let me paste that link because I will definitely be looking at shit like that. Or you can find it and many others on YouTube under my name, or even on my website. Let me paste that channel. I think I've subscribed to this channel a little while ago. Well, a few days ago, as I made the Fate in Progress YouTube channel. But okay. I have proven that I could and did stop stuttering, and I am joyfully witnessing a steady stream of others stop stuttering now. For example, see the success stories as posted regularly. Not more success stories, mate. I'm not saving that link, mate. I've already read loads. Anyway, these are not one-offs. They are one after another, after another, almost domino-like among worker bees with minds open to beating it. There is no magic here, only logic. It's not easy, but our statistics say that you can do it. It's not willing or forcing the mind, it's mind training, mind reprogramming, and mind management, all corroborating modern medicine's view. What is that word? Corro. I'm sure I didn't say that word right. Corroborate. Cool, blimey. All corroborate. All co- corroborating. Wait, what? Corroborate. Corroborating. Okay. All corroborating modern medicine's view of neuroplasticity capitalizes in the title of Norman Doge, MD's book, The Brain That Can Change Itself, and in a fast growing number of similar books. I have closely observed others with faltered speech, and I have known enough cases to convince me that countless, even millions, of very mild and situational stutterers, very severe speech anxiety, cure themselves constantly, largely by avoiding pressured speech until the stuttering memories fade and fear finally subsides. If you, don't stutter long enough, you will literally forget to stutter. Even habits must be replaced. Even habits must be repeated to be kept alive. Reducing the ratio of stuttering memories to fluency memories is a key part of my method. Let me just read that again. Okay, so I was in force of speech, and I've known enough cases going for myself that countless, even millions of very mild or situational stutterers, which I believe I have, cure themselves constantly, largely by avoiding pressured speech until the stuttering memory, sorry, until the stuttering memories fade and fear finally subsides. If they/you don't stutter long enough, you will literally forget to stutter. Even habits must be repeated to be kept alive. Reducing the ratio of stuttering memories to fluency memories is a key part of my method. Okay, I understand that. Let me write that down. I think that's a cool note to put in there. Reducing the ratio of stuttering memories to fluency memories. Also, on point, speech professional Dr. Paul Brocklehurst wrote me in January 2019 as follows. It is almost universally accepted that 80% of children who stutter recover spontaneously without any help or intervention from therapists or anyone else. See, for example, A Handbook on Stuttering by Bloodstein and Ratzner, 2007. Whether these are self cures depends on one's definition of cure and on one's definition of stuttering. Currently, there is no universally agreed definition of stuttering, and some argue that a proportion of these young people were not really stutterers, but simply hesitant speakers. Although most spontaneous recoveries often occur before the age of 10, I have heard many accounts of people who have stopped stuttering at a later age and who have never relapsed. To all intents and purposes, these people are cured. There has never been any research to quantify how many such people there are. Thank you, Dr. Brocklehurst, for sharing these very helpful facts which support our own expanding case histories, our success stories for those who have stopped stuttering. And I must add, however, that ignoring stuttering is not likely to work for those with more than very mildest cases. Stuttering is a snowball. It is either gaining momentum or losing it at all times. If yours is not shrinking noticeably and consistently week by week, you should you should attack it and beat it as you can do and not risk it expanding. I believe that stutterers have not generally cured. uh, I believe that stutterers have not generally cured because one, they have been told that stuttering is incurable and that they must accept it. And two, those brave enough to try to cure anyway have relied on others to cure them, when only the people who stutter can achieve her own cure. To help the speech disabled cure this incurable disease, I would turn to another person who stutters who has stopped his or her stuttering, such as those on Speech Anxiety Anonymous. Was that sorry? Have relied on others to cure them. To help the speech disabled cure this incurable disease, I would turn to yeah. Okay, cool. Makes sense. I was urged to write the first edition by the parents of stuttering children whom I had helped, mostly in the 1960s and 1970s. There was no internet, no Skype, nor FaceTime then. Those whom I helped often lived far away, and I worked with them over the phone, which was then very expensive and precluded. This guy's vocabulary is nuts. Yeah, precluded, prevent from happening, make impossible. Of a situation or condition that prevents someone from doing something. Okay. Very expensive and precluded me from observing the stutterers most of the time. I followed these telephone sessions with often voluminous written suggestions as sent via snail mail, some of which formed the nucleus of this book. When I wrote my first edition in 2015, I intentionally did not read other texts or consult other sources until I had finished the first draft of my book because I wanted to tell my story, unvarnished, warts and all, exactly as I had painfully experienced it. However, after finishing my first draft and before publishing my first edition, I did go online, and I was stunned to discover countless texts, articles, online forums, therapists, clinics, bloggers, etc., offering help or solace to stutterers. I was overwhelmed by the vast ocean of vendors and materials. Being one who has tried diligently to read a book a week most of my adult life, that's fucking nuts, by the way. I purchased a roughly 6 foot tall stack of stuttering books and leaped into them 8, 10, 12 hours a day. Fucking hell. Devouring tons of books until my eyes burned, along with visits to myriad blogs. What does myriad mean? Am I saying that right? Myriad. Myriad can mean the ancient Myriad can mean the ancient number 10,000, or more commonly today, a countless or very large number of things. Along with visits to myriad blogs, forums, and other material. See, I can tell that this bloke reads a lot because his vocabulary is crazy. Saying that though, he's not the best at flowing his words, but all right, cool. While I found many passionate, touching, very well intentioned, interesting, and helpful material, most of the messages fell into one of three categories. One, those written by knowledgeable and well intentioned speech professionals, speech language pathologists, or SLPs. I'm presuming that's speech language professionals, some with PhDs, who had never stuttered, much less cured their own stuttering. Or two, the often heart wrenching stories of those, some with PhDs in speech therapy, who had wagered the stuttering war for a lifetime, but who has never cured. Or three, books for $2.99. I regret to say by apparent charlatans, bogus books that were 20 to 50 pages of insulting platitudes. Platitudes. I'm presuming that just means bullshit. Platitude is a tried, dull, or overused statement that is often said as if it were profound or original. Yeah, bullshit. Designed to fleece the long suffering and innocent person who suffers of their much needed 299 pennies. All right. Even so, in one and two, I did find some very helpful ideas, and I did plagiarize a few and added them to my book. However, with ad- attribution in each instance, using quotation marks and listing them in my bibliography. What's that? Billo Bibliography? Bibliography. Bibliography, a list of books referred to in a scholarly work. It's a reference in it. Listing them in my listing them in my bibliography. But these books did not precipitate. This is gonna be up for the whole fucking 600 pages. Precipitate, fucking hell. I'm actually stupid. But these books did not precipitate significant changes to my story or my methodology. I never found any other book by a stutterer who had beaten it except Ruth Mead, to whom I devoted section 15 of this book. You copy that name, mate. Ruth Mead. Copy that. My methods and my book remained a faithfully chronicled account of my 25-year journey, 15 years fighting it, 3 to 5 years to make it undetectable, and another 10 to crush the fears and literally forget to stutter or even think about it. All wading through the ineffably excruciating minefields and mental and social crucibles of stuttering. My story was my truth, and I could not change it. Let me just read, just scroll up a little bit again. Sorry. Even so, I want to read these 3 points again. I found pleasure in touching well-intentioned material fall into one of three categories: written by those knowledgeable and well-intentioned speech professionals who had never stuttered, much less cured their own stuttering. Agreed. I fully agree. Two, the often heart-wrenching stories of those who had wagered their stuttering war for a lifetime, but who has never, but who had never cured it. Okay, then just bullshit books. Okay, cool. Since I published my first edition in 2016 and my second edition in 2017, I have been in communication with thousands of stutterers from all over the world, and by late 2018, I will have spent roughly 2,500 sessions Skype coaching people who stutter, along with a surfeit. I'm assuming that means a lot. Why can't you just use like regular words, bro? Surfeit. Yeah, massive. With a surfeit of daily. What's this one? Com communiques, communique, communiques. An official announcement or statement. Communiques. Okay. Along with a surfeit of daily communiques from my stuttering emailers, messengers, vectors, FaceTimers, and Skypees. All of this has taught me a great deal, which has pointed me to some more helpful texts, which I am adding to the second and third editions and the bibliography. Some of those very legitimate books may well be precisely what you need, as each of us is so different, and what will extinguish Satan's stuttering for one of us may not be the best answer for others. Although my methods are now proving effective for 90% of those who stick with us. Before leaving the subject of other materials, I here confess that I could not begin to do more than sample the vast labyrinth of books and speech gurus on point, but I commend them to you. Based on the number of success stories that we at, what's this called again? Speech Anxiety Anonymous are witnessing every month, we do believe that our methods are the straightest line between stuttering and fluency. In all events, having won my battle with Satan stuttering, the constraints of time confined my efforts to trying to help others understand and apply the methods that I used and use to this day to beat Satan's suffering and to keep that Drakeoan demon in his infernal hell. All right, mate. Buried as deep in Dante's flaming inferno as I can cast him. Cool, blimey. My goal is not to argue with anyone. It is to help as many as I can. Oh my god, this guy keeps on going. Since I published the first and second editions after going on Facebook in 2016 and beginning to put my videos on YouTube in mid 2018, and then doing live daily online coaching sessions on my daily show, Game of Tongues, which I broadcast online, which have had over 25,000 online viewers by year end 2018. I have attracted people who stutter from all over the world: Europe, the Far East, Middle East, Africa, Russia, Turkey, Greece, Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand, UK, Canada, and throughout the US. I welcome all of them and will help as many individuals as my time allows. As I type these words, I am now Skyping with 20 to 40 stutterers weekly for 30 to 60 minutes or more each. Today I Skyped with people who stutter in Africa, Australia, Beijing, Doha, UK, and the US. Yesterday in Moscow, Delhi, Pakistan, Mumbai, and New York. Due to varied time zones, I do this 7 days a week at all hours of the day. Those Skyping stutterers are of all ages, ethnicities, religions, sexes, educations, economic strata, and cultures. And most important, they have widely varying degrees of speech problems and work ethics, but all have one thing in common: Satan stuttering. Most of them have had other therapies, but to little or no avail, reinforcing the misconception that stuttering cannot be stopped. The first thing that people who stutter have taught me is this: no single method is going to help all people who stutter. That is, there is likely no perfect universal solution. This does not make one method bad and another good. Different baits will catch different fish. However, I believe that my multiple methods used in variable combinations will work in most cases, and that they are largely compatible regardless of the mix of same. My methods involve 3 legs of my three-legged stool and offers 3 very different approaches, which in combination make an effective 1 to 3 punch. If I were starting all over to attack my own stuttering, I would use all 3 in equal measure. Unfortunately, some people who stutter are quick to dismiss my or any new methods that vary from what they have been doing or which do not work easily or quickly. They miss a bet by not trying the new, especially when it is working well for most who apply it, and when their existing methods are not working so well, or often not working at all. The proof is in the pudding, and he's dropped the link again. This is like the 4th time he dropped that link. I just want to scroll up ever so slightly about this 3-legged shit. My method involves 3 legs of my 3-legged stool and all 3 of the 3 approaching. If I were starting all over to attack my own stuttering, I would use all 3 in equal measure. I believe that's just like a metaphor, but alright, cool. While the variety of people who stutter is infinite, for each of discussion, I classify people who stutter into 3 groups: 1 to 3, very mild; 4 to 6, mild to severe; 7 to 10, severe. I would say I'm a 6. I'd say I'm a 6. I'd say I'm a 6, yeah. Okay, based on hundreds of questionnaires that people who Stutter have emailed to me, I estimate 20% very mild, 60% mild severe, 20% severe. I could, but won't, write another book on each of the above classifications, and I am learning daily more of the nuances within each group. The percentage of words impaired and the severity of each impairment dictate. Wait, what? The percentage of words impaired and the severity of each impairment dictates focus or the best combination of methods to arrest the impairment. At the risk of oversimplification, I break the above into three types: hesitators, stutterers, stammerers, blockers, with or without sound, contortions. Blockers include those who go silent. I think all three, to be honest with you, I could fit in. Some fit into two, yeah, all three. I'd say all three for me. Again, the severity of defect and its frequency dictates adjustments among the methods to be used. Some suffer combinations or all of the above, and even switch back and forth among them from sentence to sentence. The best combination of methods for one group would not necessarily be best for the other group. With my methods as well, people who stutter seem to respond better to different methods. Practicing all of them until they can be used easily and on command will tell you which suit you best. I use all of them over the years to stop stuttering and avoid relapses, and I enjoy reading aloud to this day, always hearing my best speech when I do, laying new memories and images of my optimum fluency in my mind's memory bank. I need to pause it, bruh. I need a drink. For fuck's sake, I've just scrolled down a little bit further. I've got so many more pages left of this yap, but I will finish this page and I'll probably call it a day. The main way to make the crutches work is to memorize them and practice them until they become semi automatic. The main way to make the crutches work is to memorize them and practice them until they become semi automatic. The best practice method is simply to use them non stop in all of your conversations, whether you need them or don't. Today, while I still do auto suggestions or self hypnosis daily for non speech mind training, I do not need them for speech. To prevent relapses, I only use my crutches, which are in step 2, which have been maternally improved in my second and third editions. I have never stopped rejecting negative speech thoughts and replacing them immediately with a barrage of positive affirmations. This will become automatic in time. Let me just read that one more time. Today, I still do auto suggestions or data self hypnosis for non speech mind training. Let me write that down. I find that interesting. Also, suggestions or self hypnosis daily for non speech mind training. Do not do them for speech. To prevent relapses, I only use my crutches, which have been maternally improved in my second and third editions. I have never stopped. I have never stopped rejecting negative speech thoughts and replacing them immediately with a barrage of positive affirmations. I'm gonna write that down as well. That's interesting. Affirmation. this will become automatic in time. There is a condition precedent to any cure, a belief that a cure can be achieved. Real. Since traditional therapy begins on the false premise that stuttering cannot be stopped and fear of it eliminated, the person who stutters is defeated before he or she leaves the starting gate. If you can't convince yourself to be open to achieving fluency, you'll never achieve it. Since many others have achieved it, why not you? Online of late, there seems to be considerable discussion about controlled and uncontrolled methods. Labels often compound more problems than they solve, especially when they are defined differently, as is inevitable, as most of us erroneously assume that our definition is the only one. People have heated discussions over the same word, even when they are defining that word differently. As such, they are often arguing without a reason. How are these words to be defined? What? So online is that there seems to be considerable discussion about controlled and uncontrolled methods. Labels often compound more problems than they solve, especially when they are defined differently. As is inevitable, as most of us erroneously assume that our definition is the only one, people have heated discussions over the same word even when they are defining that word differently. As such, they are often arguing without a reason. How are these words to be defined? Okay, that's interesting. Well, look, fuck me, mate. I'm on page fucking 50. My throat is actually quite hoarse. Let me just write this down. So let's say I started that time. So let's say 16 minutes, 5 seconds in. It is currently 1 hour, 57 minutes, and 10 seconds. Well, look, that was really good. That was really good. That was a really good session. Let me just put in here. Started. So I'm just writing down this little note here. So started blank, blank, blank. And I want to say left off. I want to say page 50 on the so PDF page 50. And then I'll say book page 37. Okay, and that's going to be started blank. And that's going to be blank. Okay, cool. Cool, blimey. That was a good session. I'm very happy with what I've achieved here today. You know, over 2 hours of, well, nearly over 2 hours of speaking. So far, so good. A lot of waffle to go through. 50 pages in, 569 to tackle. This is good though. This is great. And I do fully believe these methods will work. I fully believe in Lee. I fully believe in this method. I honestly do. I fully am aligned with Lee. I'm very logical. I like to think of myself as very smart. And it just makes so much sense what he's saying here. And even though I've just read Yap for about 2 hours, um, it is helpful because I am speaking out loud. Well, this is it. My back fucking hurts from hunching over doing this shit. Let me just stretch. Cool, blimey. Well, okay. This has been good. The time is 9:35 p.m. Thank you, and